Hey, this is Mo Lunsford at Union Grove Lumber Studios.
And this is the Shed Geek. We want to welcome you to today's episode.
Welcome back to this week's episode of the Shed Geek podcast. This is Susan Frere. I am the Shed Gal, and I have the absolute honor and privilege today to be with Juliana Vanlaanen of 2MamaBees Playsets. Juliana, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm going to let you tell our audience, and we have a lot of listeners and we have a lot of viewers because it's on, all the podcast things. Would you mind telling everybody how we met?
So actually, Susan and I met because we were on The Blocked together, which was a competition reality show with Wes. And I think we actually met the first night because we went head to head for a finals round. So we got to meet in a green room. And the second we heard what each other did, we were like, wait, this is too serendipitous. We were meant to be best friends. And since then, it has been a great relationship.
I love that because I was thinking, oh yeah, this is my new best friend. And so Juliana, tell us about and before you tell us about your business, just know that everyone who's listening, when Juliana and I met, what she does filled a huge need of what I needed as a shed and metal building dealer. And so it was just like this lifelong relationship started that moment. Juliana, tell us about 2MamaBees. What do you do?
Well, I just wanted to also say it was kind of same for me because it was like a relationship I didn't even think would be so lucrative for 2MamaBees, but having that wholesale relationship with you. So it went both ways. I think that we both definitely benefited from the relationship. But so 2MamaBees, we are a now 12-time award-winning manufacturing company. Yes, we actually just won Toy of the Year, which we are so excited for our London swing set, which launches officially next week. Our purpose is to empower families through purposeful play. And we create luxury swing sets, playhouses, and other children's products.
I love that. I remember looking up your website, after we talked, and I'm like, okay, your play sets are different than what's out there. We know there's some really fun play sets out there, and kids love play sets, but yours are unique. They really are unique. And congratulations. I mean, your awards, because you haven't been in business for 20 years. You're a fairly new company, and my guess is in 12 to 24 months, you're going to be right up there with the most well-known, because you're well on your way to that playset company in the country. Tell me a little about how you started, when you started, your background, and then we'll get into the really fun stuff of, let's talk about what you're selling.
Yes. So we actually started as a small backyard Etsy shop. So the company was founded by myself and my childhood best friend, Samantha. We are currently mothers of 8 children between the two of us. But at the time when we started the business, Samantha had 3 and I had 2. Her son was born and diagnosed shortly after with autism. And I think through that journey, Samantha kind of lost her footing. I think when you're a mom, it's just so ingrained in you that you do everything. So all of a sudden she had therapists in the house for 6 to 8 hours a day. And she really lost where she stood as a parent, and what her purpose was in life. So, she started to become withdrawn, and I'm sure there was some depression there, which is pretty understandable with a diagnosis like that. So her husband came to me, and I was working corporate America at the time. And we just kind of discussed what was going on with Sam and how we could help, just empower her to feel like herself again, something that was her own. I mean, he even phrased it as just have her make $100 a week, like something that feels like she's accomplishing something weekly for herself.
Yeah.
So we actually started as just this backyard Etsy shop. We built some window boxes for our own homes. Every piece that we would build, we would really just put on our own houses and then take pictures and say, throw it up on Etsy and be like, well, if somebody wants to buy it, they will. So it was originally window boxes. Then we built some porch bed swings, and we would get orders during the week, and then we'd drink wine and use heavy power tools on the weekend because those two go together really well. But it really was that organic and started just from, two friends trying to find their way and navigate their way through a difficult diagnosis. And then she had redone her backyard. It was beautiful. It was stunning. And she had what is one of our competitors' playhouses. And it's, the standard brown playhouse. And it wasn't very aesthetically beautiful. So we decided to paint it. And it was so beautiful. We had no idea how we'd ship it, no clue what we'd do, but we threw it up on our Etsy shop just with like a hope and a prayer maybe somebody would like it. And they did. We made about 1,000 sales in 1 year. So I quit corporate America and we went from Sam's backyard to my backyard to one warehouse to two warehouses. And we were at the time buying our competitors' playhouses by the semi-truckload and then hand painting them for 14 to 16 hours a day in a warehouse with no AC, repackaging them and shipping them out. And all on the back end, we were taking all of this customer feedback, which is really personalized, especially on Etsy, because people talk to you like they're your friend. It's just a different type of platform to sell because everything is homemade. So we took all of that feedback and we used it as our market research. And then we launched our own brand in October of 2021. So just about to hit year 3.
It is such an amazing story to me. And I mean, I started laughing when you said 1,000 in the first year. It's like most people would have been like, hey, if we could sell 1 or 2 a month, this is a great little side gig. You literally launched yourself right into an incredible business. It's literally like the American dream. And I love the fact that you brought up like the market research, and I talk to dealers all the time about that in the shed industry. Like we have to try things, we have to test things, we have to throw stuff out there, and we have to, get feedback and data and analyze it and then tweak it. This all sounds very familiar to you and me and many of the people I've talked with. And that's exactly what you were doing all along. So I'm curious, like, do you still make window boxes for homes?
So we don't make window boxes for homes anymore, but we do make window boxes for playhouses. And even
Yes,
if you buy one, which you already know, it comes with real working window boxes that you can actually plant real herbs and flowers. But if you already have a swing set in your backyard and you just want to add some working window boxes, you can always purchase those as accessories as well.
I just love it. I mean, it is such an incredible story. And the human side of that with Sam, I didn't know that. I didn't know all that until we're talking. And it's like, I don't even have the right words for it. It's just absolutely incredible that something that I just want to help my friend. I want to help my friend. I want to, give her something where she feels purpose outside of the family life it's just Juliana, it's really incredible. Well, you know that. And 12
you're gonna make me cry.
Yeah, I know. Let's not cry. Hey, I don't know that I've cried on a podcast yet. I did get a couple
I definitely haven't, not yet.
We'll be the first criers on the Shed Geek podcast. Magnificent Monday with the Shed Gal is now known of buckets of tears. It would be tears of joy that it's such an incredible story. Your play sets are very, very unique. You can do the custom colors, you can do they are just so unique. The interesting part is I find your price point, because you say they're luxury. And when I hear luxury, I think of high-end, very, very expensive. I think that your play sets, personally, in my market research, are very well priced. In fact,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not inexpensive by any means, but neither are the other companies out there selling them. Your price point, you're selling a luxury product, and I feel like it doesn't have the luxury price tag. Was that intentional, or was that?
Absolutely. No, I'm sorry. Absolutely. I think and even more so now, like our London, when we rolled out our London, we really went and took a deep dive into the market and said, what price point is really like driven home for like consumers? Because we want our products to be available to the masses. We don't want everybody to have to buy a play set and in a year it's falling apart in your backyard and you're like, why'd I even invest in this. And honestly, it is like all sheds or outdoor structures, everything is an investment, right? So whether you're spending 4,000 or you're spending 2,000, it's a lot of money, no matter what way you stretch it. So one aspect that's extremely important to us is the quality, and we create heirloom craftsmanship products. So not only can you watch your kids play on it, but one day you'll watch your grandkids play on the exact same swing set in your backyard. To give you like kind of a comparison, our Rain 2-story swing set weighs close to 450 pounds. Our competitors of the same size weighs 250 pounds. That's based on just the quality integrity of the wood alone. So we're really trying to create pieces that have longevity, not only just for families to be able to, purchase it once, you're one and done, but also to reduce our carbon footprint. Like there is a huge like amount that could be said about the fact that when you're constantly having to redo and reproduce these products and they end up in a landfill and they're not disposed of the right way, and even if they are painted, it's difficult for them to be upcycled. So why not make sure that we're creating quality products that have longevity to them, and then we are reducing our carbon footprint at the exact same time?
That's incredible, because I've spoken with some other playset companies prior to meeting you, and those things were never brought up. It was just, it's not that there aren't good products out there. This is just a different category of playset. It just is. But again, the price point, it's very, very reasonable. We also have the opportunity to, which I think is amazing, as a dealer with you, and being able to offer them on my lots. People can purchase them outright. They're drop shipped directly to their house. You're talking 2 or 3 weeks to have it drop shipped. If it's a custom color, of course it takes longer because it's a custom color, but I mean, it's well worth the wait. Drop shipped directly to their house. You have as I understand it, a network of installers nationwide that aren't employed through you, but a company you work with, and we can put that company up too, that can be paid to actually install them. And for folks like me, that is the way I would want to go, because it might take me 3 weeks to put something together that the normal person could put together in 2 or 3 hours. But there's a lot of people like me. We also are able to offer financing on the play sets, and also a no credit check rent to own, which that requires that it be professionally installed. But I mean, that is just amazing. Now, someone might be saying, oh, well, if they can't afford the play set, they can't afford it. Hey, the shed industry and metal building industries are really built on rent to own. I would have done it when my kids were small. I would have paid it off early as soon as I could. But I mean, it's just another way to be able to get it.
Have you been considering adding a line of greenhouses to your brand? At Cold Spring Enterprises, we have the perfect solution for you. By incorporating greenhouse products into your sales location, whether you're a do-it-yourself dealer or a manufacturer supporting multiple shed lots, you can expand your customer base. We offer easy-to-assemble greenhouse kits that will simplify the process of adding greenhouses to your lot. You can choose between 2 basic styles, an economy style and an A-frame style. We can ship a standard 8x12 greenhouse kit directly to your shed lot or manufacturing location. These kits include all the necessary components for assembly, except for the wainscoting or clear panels, door, and fan. However, we can assist you in connecting with the supplier for these items. Moreover, We also offer negotiable bulk pricing for multiple units. To help you get started, we are pleased to offer an exclusive discount through the Shed Geek podcast. You can receive an 8x12 economy or A-frame style greenhouse, complete with wainscoting or clear panels, a screen door and fan. The pricing for a complete one-time display unit starts at $2,195 for an economy style and $2,545 for an A-frame style, excluding shipping and tax. For more information and to request bulk unit pricing, please visit www.shedgeek.com/cold-spring-enterprises and fill out your information, and someone will be in touch with you as soon as possible. Or simply go to the Shed Geek newsletter and click on the greenhouse picture to fill out your information. Thank you for considering our greenhouse kits. We are excited to work together to bring greenhouse kits to your line of products.
Let's talk about that sustainability. You mentioned that, why was that important to you? Why did that come up? Is that from your history? Is that because that's not normal? I think a lot of people just go, hey, we're going to build something, we're going to sell it, we're going to make some money. You really put thought into this.
We did. When we originally launched 2MamaBees, we had some brand principles that we really stood behind. I think we're always, as parents of 8 kids, we try to look through the lens of a consumer. And we do offer assembly services, but even just a touch point on that, like as the lens of a consumer, our build times are 1 to 2 hour builds. Almost the entire structure comes pre-assembled for ease of assembly. So we try to really eliminate all the pain points that we feel as parents, like kind of what you just said. It would sit in the garage for 6 months and then all of a sudden it's winter and I don't have time to assemble it. And so, we understand that because we're moms ourselves. On top of that, I think really the key principles that we look for in a company, because information is at our fingertips. It's sitting in our phone at all times. And consumers are aware now and they research and they look into things. I do. I look into what my kids are eating and what they're playing with. And I'm not buying every single plastic just off the shelf because I understand that there are repercussions, not only just for, day to day. You have to watch out for BPA. Luckily, there are some guidelines in America, not as like significant as what they are overseas, but still. So we really focused on some core brand promises very early on when we were thinking about our brand, and one was eco-consciousness. And we thought about that in a number of different ways. One, of course, is the fact that our playhouses come with window boxes that can plant real herbs and flowers. And that's just to spark children's interest in the environment at a very early age. I think it's something that's kind of overlooked with families. Like maybe you garden as you get older, but why not start it when they're young and start teaching them the fundamentals of what our environment needs for growth and environmental consciousness at such a young age. And then from there, we really built upon that. So it was important to us that everything had low VOC paint, meaning that everything was very non-toxic. So anything that our kids are touching, putting in their mouths, it matters. It does matter. And it's unfortunate that the FDA doesn't regulate things as stringent as they should, but that doesn't mean that we can't make sure that we're creating a brand that exceeds those expectations, which is what 2MamaBees does. Aside from that, we also then went even further to say, hey, we're going to give more than we take. So for our Rain 2-story playhouse, for instance, it takes roughly 1 tree to build. We work with American Forest, a reforestation nonprofit, and for every rain, we replant 10. For every London, we replant 5, and so on and so forth. So we are always giving more than we're taking. So we really wanted to full circle that. Like we weren't like, we're not just going to stop at the fact that we're non-toxic and lead-free. That's the basics. We want to dive even deeper. We want to make sure that everything we're doing is truly leaving a mark on the environment and making sure that other companies are forced to level up. If we're talking about it and we're bringing it to their attention, there's no reason that us as a brand that's only been around for 3 years can do this, and you can't. You should have been years ago. So let's step it up and let's all give back and, make a lasting mark on this world for our children. We're selling to children, but we're not doing anything to protect the environment that our kids are living in. I mean, I don't know, that doesn't really feel good to me. So
I love that. I love that. And you're leading by example. And I mean, I think that you're going to make a big impact. I love your name. I've never asked you this before. And it was funny because when we saw each other a couple weeks ago at grad school, I had just been saying to someone, Mama Bear. And then I said, oh, 2 Mama Bears. I was like, I don't know, it's 2 Mama Bees, 2 Mama Bees. It's such a cool name. Where did it come from?
It was so like organic. We were sitting there thinking about what our name should be. And I was like, well, we're busy bees because we are, right? We're pulled in a million directions with 8 kids. Yeah. And so there was 2 of us and it just kind of stuck and we kind of loved it. And everything from there has been and there was so much branding that we didn't think of early on, but now it's everybody's welcome to our hive and we're buzzing with excitement. And so it's fun. It's like fun and outdoorsy and like comes full circle, like branding. I love it.
Yes. Well, and it's funny because I was thinking like, the sustainability, and we all know that bees are very important for our environment for many, many reasons. And so, I think it's such a fun name, such a fun name. I love it. I didn't know that part. I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask her about that.
You know what? You're so right too. And it really is. It's like, maybe it's just like the irony of it all that we like had like this vision foreshadowed before us, but yes, bees are obviously a very important part of sustainability in the environment. So
yes. And I know that there's some products out there on the market on the shed side, like the LP siding and stuff, where it's more sustainable and white pine wood and different things. And I just, I didn't realize that I would be interested in hearing the details about how a piece of siding was built. But when I got into it, I'm like, wow, this is actually really cool that a company, especially as big as LP, has thought about these things. I just, and on a small level, you thought about it when you started. So you started, in Sam's backyard and Samantha's backyard, and then your backyard, and then a warehouse that had no air conditioning. But that's not where you're at today, is it?
No, it's not. So now, thankfully, it is not where I'm at today. Thankfully, now we are manufactured by an incredible group of second generation Amish artisans, and their attention to detail, their just level of craftsmanship and the quality that they produce, the love that's behind it is, I think, felt in every piece that we manufacture. And it's an incredible partnership. They are like family to us, and we are so blessed that we found them.
It's just incredible because like my brain wouldn't even know, like I don't even know how to get to it's just stuff. And I know you have a really good partnership. I know there's a couple of big deals that are in the works, and I'm not even sure that we can talk about those. But I do know that there's a couple of really big potential contracts in the making that literally will put you probably the most well-known brand, and that's in the next year or so, I believe. So I won't say anything that'll get me or you in trouble, but this is a company that, folks that you're listening and watching, this is a company to watch. Not only incredible people, that's first and foremost, incredible product.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dylan from the Shed Geek marketing team, and I want to address a common misconception about marketing. Often people approach us for just one service, like social media management, where we plan and schedule your monthly posts. While this is a valuable time saver, it's just one piece of your complete marketing strategy, much like a shed with its various components. Let's simplify it. Think of your social media channels and Google My Business as the foundation, similar to the runners of a shed. They support your digital storefront, your website, which is like the floor joists and band boards. To enhance your marketing, you'll need tools like Google Analytics, Facebook Pixel, and Google Tags, which are like the walls. These tools help track the success of your campaigns, measuring form submissions, 3D shed creations, and phone calls generated by our ads. Now, let's talk about the roof. Meta and Google ad campaigns. These are the top layers that complete your marketing shed. While you may inquire about one specific service, remember, they all contribute to the overall structure of your marketing strategy. At Shed Geek Marketing, we're happy to work on one individual aspect, but our goal is to build a comprehensive marketing shed that will truly stand out in the digital landscape. If you're ready to talk about your marketing strategy that will take your shed business to the next level, just go to shedgeek.com and fill out a submission form or contact the Shed Geek for more information.
Let's talk about your warranties and customer service. And then I want to delve into you a little bit about the business side of it, because I do try to emphasize with dealers and manufacturers, you have to be a business person, and manufacturers do really, really well. But then, sometimes the business side of it needs some tweaking, so we can go into that. But let's talk about like your warranties, or what if a customer or a dealer like myself, what if there is an issue?
So two things. So if you do have an issue, let's say a box comes and nobody's perfect, right? So you're missing a part, or like a small piece comes damaged. We send a replacement part directly to the customer at no charge to either the customer or the retailer. We also have a 5-year warranty on all rot and decay of the product itself. So if they were to send us a picture and let's say the window box had some rot and decay on it, we would replace it within those 5 years, no questions asked. So that's kind of just our way of making sure that people can alleviate that little, like, it's wood, I wonder how it holds up in this environment and that environment. Yeah.
Have you've shipped them all over the country then, haven't you?
We've shipped to all 50 states and we've shipped to Canada.
Oh, hey, I'm glad you just added that in there. I didn't know. and folks, you can go to 2MamaBees.com or shedgal.com and look into the play sets and take a. I mean, they're incredible. Let's talk about the business side. You came from corporate America, which is wonderful. Samantha was, with the kids. I don't know her work history, but this is at the end of the day a business. And oftentimes, even in the shed and metal building industry, it's a dealer, but no one has ever talked to them about being a business owner and how to actually run a business. And so I work with a lot of people on that. Tell me about running it as a business. Now, we know you're buzzing around. See what I did there? You're a busy bee. See what I did there? We know that. We know that. That's a given. What have been some of the challenges on the business side? If you care to share that, what are some things that you feel are really important? We talked about market research and listening to customers and potential customers. I know your reviews. I gave you a review. It was a legitimate, awesome review, but it was you have a ton of amazing reviews. Let's talk about that, the business side of it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say obviously first and foremost, you want to really make sure that you're starting lean, right? And if you're able to start lean, you should, and then as you stage and grow, just putting people in place that are better suited for the roles that you're not the best suited for. I think marketing is a huge role that I think should be filled by somebody of a more qualified stature than yourself in any business whatsoever. It is a specialty field. And the one thing about marketing is that if you are hiring the right person, it will pay for themselves, right? And then there's profit on the back end. So it's kind of one of those no-brainers. I don't think you do it out the block. I don't think you do it day one, but I think you implement it within year one for sure, if you can, if not year one, year two. So I would say the way we've built our team out is that we have our director of marketing and she has support underneath her. CFO, even if it's a fractional CFO, which is how we started as well. Really being able to, which is the same thing that we did when we started with our marketing. So our marketing originally, when everything started, was all, I don't want to say a 1099, but it is a independent contractor. Yeah, so fractional CEO or CFO, and an independent contractor for our marketing team. As it scaled, as it grew, then we started to recognize that it needed to be more in-house. Luckily, we were able to take both of those people who were already working as independent contractors and bring them on full-time as employees. But that maybe that's not always the case. That doesn't mean that you still shouldn't transition and bring somebody on full-time when it is necessary. As far as running the day-to-day operations, I think you and I are probably in alignment that it is best that we are working on our business and not in our business as much as humanly possible. But you need support to make sure that that's done correctly. And so in doing so, you really need to put the people in place that are able to support you in the way that you can walk away and work confidently on your business, because they are confidently doing all the things necessary in your business to help it grow and develop.
I love that. And remind me your marketing gal's name.
Ashley Sink.
Wonderful.
And then we have Michaela now too, and we love our Michaela.
Wonderful. Yeah, I love that. It's the starting lean is super important. And I look back, my first lot was me. And then we very soon opened a second display lot, and it was my husband. And then I reluctantly hired part-time employee, and I had when I was in insurance, I had been a trainer for many years, but mostly as an insurance agent, went back and I had an employee who embezzled a bunch of money. And
my gosh.
Oh yeah. And it devastated me. So I was devastated emotionally. I literally couldn't believe that someone I considered a friend would do that. And so I had told my husband when we started out, I'm never having an employee. I mean, I did. He'll tell you. I'm like, never, because it was so devastating. Well, so I reluctantly hired someone, but I never called them employees. I called them team members. At part-time, Beth, she had the audacity to move back to Texas from Washington, so I lost her, but she was my first employee. Then I had a business coach who said, you must delegate. You must. And in my head, this goes back to what you were saying. In my head, I was like, but I can't afford to delegate. And she said, you see it as an expense. I see it as if we do it right, it makes you money. And you alluded to that. Yeah. And so I'm not involved in my business like I was originally. But it's having the right people. You've got quite a team. How many folks do you have?
So on full-time in-house, we probably have like 6 to 10. But then obviously with our manufacturing team, we have now four manufacturing facilities. And so I'd say like 50 there as well. But we have like a director of manufacturing who oversees all our manufacturers. So we have the people in place that kind of like at the top we get to speak to on a regular basis, but I don't have to talk to every single employee, which is good. So as much as you can eliminate those headaches as well.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's amazing. And even for the folks in the shed and metal building industry, if you're a one person, I'm not going to say one man show, because you could be a one gal show.
Yes, you can.
There's nothing wrong with that. But there's this tweak in a person's head at a certain point that some people want to be an actual business owner where they want to grow. And these are good, helpful tips of no one's born knowing how to run a business. And so these good, helpful hints of looking at things where it's not an expense, but that it helps generate your income, more income, putting the right people in the right jobs, making sure you have standard operating procedures to cover yourself, so that we just can't. I hear that all the time. I just can't delegate. No one will do it better than me. Well, that may be true, but as one person, it's humanly impossible to do what my whole team does for me.
And touching on that too, like if you're empowering the people that you hired, first off, stand on your own 2 feet that you were capable of hiring people that should be in the roles that they're in, and then empower them to do it. Take your ego out of it. I think that's like a huge aspect. I don't care if you're a woman, you're a man, you're anybody.
Yes.
I think ego does play a role when you're doing it all early on by yourself. It is a whole lot. And then you get like, well, I did it all and I've done it all, but you're probably not growing if you're still the only one doing it. then
Yeah.
you're not growing big enough and you're not focusing on what you should be focusing on to continue to grow. So it is your job, it is your role as the CEO and the head of the company to empower the people that you put in the positions that they're in to do their job that you hired them to do. And by giving them room to grow, not micromanaging them, not overseeing every single little task. And like you said too, if you've built the proper SOPs, then they should be able to fully accomplish and execute what you're asking them to do. And if not, then go look at your SOPs. Then go, at the end of the day, everything is your fault. If you're the CEO, it is all your fault. If you win, it's your fault. If you fail, it's your fault. So look at where your weak points are. If you have employees and they're not, they're not up to like the bar that you want them to be at, then you need to look at where you failed them to either empower them to get there or to set the standard operating procedures in place so that they know what the expectations are that they need to be meeting. So it kind of like, once you've kind of like really driven that home for yourself and you kind of like take all that in, take your ego and set it all the way aside, throw it out the door, then you're now able to create a team where everybody is lifting and building and working upon it. And I don't even have to go look at those SOPs anymore. I know Ashley is working on them. Every time she's doing something different that we all like, that we all agree on, I know that I've empowered her enough to know that she's going to make sure that she writes those SOPs in and Michaela can follow them and we can grow as a team. And she's now working her own team. She's building her own team, and if I was doing that all day, if I was micromanaging everything Ashley was doing, we wouldn't make any more sales. Like I wouldn't have the time. There's only so many hours in a day. And trust me, I work the majority of them. Okay. I can tell you.
I hear you. I see you. I know. We both do.
And even then, there's still not enough hours in a whole day,
Yes. Agreed. I love that about the standard operating procedures. And I think, I had a mind shift not too long ago, and I think it was actually at the blocks, that I don't have to put the standard operating procedures together. My team members, my employees can do that because no one's doing it better than them. And I have a couple of them working on it right now. Now to them, it's a foreign language, but I'm empowering them to here's some guidance, but do the research and it'll be wonderful because it's really their job to then train their replacements so they can move up as I see it now. 7 years ago, 6 years ago, I saw it as my job to train everybody, and I just don't see it that way now. I don't talk to a lot of my team members nearly as much as my heart feels like I should. But my head knows I don't need to talk to them every day. I don't need to. It's just like you. We if they're doing their job. I'm interested to know because I have some little things in the back of my head of where I think you're going to be in 12 months or 24 months, which by the way, don't matter at all what's in my head. Where do you see this company in a year and in 2 years and in 5 years? What do you want to see?
We have a lot of big goals. And one thing about 2MamaBees is Sam and I always say, we'll set a goal and then 2MamaBees just come over and like bulldoze it. And we're like, oh, we didn't dream big enough. Right. So and it's great. Right. Like I hope it continues to exceed what my expectations are. But I would say short-term goals, like within the next 2 years, we would love to be on a whole lot more shed gal lots and wholesale lots with different vendors and distributors. We would love to be in stores. We have some big deals that we're working on right now, primarily with Sam, Sam's Club, and
I'm being quiet. And who did you just say you're working on a deal with?
Sam's Club, and then it would be Costco to follow. And I think the reason that those are important, just the same as you, is that the product sells itself when you see it in person. So it's not exactly a product that I think would ever really fit. And that doesn't mean that we won't, because we are creating a lot more products, but it is not necessarily a product that would go just on like a Target shelf space, but a Sam's Club and Costco make a lot of sense for us. You can see it set up in person, and then you can grab it right from the store and take it home for a birthday, which that level of convenience can't be beat. Same thing with you. That level of convenience can't be beat. So those are like some short-term goals. I would say longer-term goal, we do want to break into the Canadian market. And so we'd love to work with some distributors there. And then always just new products, new product launches. There is one product that, if you don't mind, I'll just take a second to talk about. So
I love that. I want to know too.
yeah. So all of our products are named after our own children. And Makai, who is Samantha's son with autism, we have yet to have launched a Makai Playhouse. So we are currently working with industry professionals, speech pathologist, OT therapist, and speech therapist, to really look at all aspects of sensory development and where we can incorporate different sensory development into this product launch. A percentage of the proceeds are going to go to Autism Speaks, and we really want it to resonate with families, be a product that could be used both indoor or outdoor. It will be a swing set, but we want to incorporate a lot of sensory elements. I think one thing that families that have children on the spectrum have a pain point with is that either they have to bring their child to, and they have some amazing places for kids that need like the sensory friendly aspects, but you're still taking your child there. And then it takes them, maybe 1 to 2 hours to feel comfortable and acclimated. And by the time that 1 to 2 hours is up, you're frustrated, you're worn out, and you're ready to leave. So we want to build a product that can go in anyone's home, that is going to be a very reasonable price point, and it's somewhere where you can play and you can also help your child learn and develop the skills that your therapists are already working on helping them develop. And it'll be in-house, so when the therapist leaves, they're not taking it with them. These elements are going to be there for the family to support the family long term.
Wow.
Yeah, we're excited for the Makai.
I didn't know any of this. I think this is just, it's actually bringing a tear to my eye. I think it's absolutely incredible, the thoughtfulness that you put into all your products, and this one in particular.
Thank you.
You weren't just making a change for your friend Samantha and your business owner. You're making a change for a lot of. I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
Greetings from the Shed Gal. As I delve deeper into the shed and steel building industries, I am thrilled to establish connections with friends who offer amazing products, such as Wendell Hochstetler, the owner of VersaBend Tube Bender. At VersaBend, they thank you for your interest in their tube bender. The VersaBend is designed to bend 2-inch, 2 1/4 inch, and 2 1/2 inch square tubing, as well as 2 by 3 inch rectangular tubing in either 14 or 12 gauge. Powered by a robust 5 horsepower unit, it features 2 adjustable stops for setting your desired degree or pitch. Priced at just $19,500 and shipped from Abbeville, South Carolina, you can secure your VersaBend with a down payment of only $1,500. Contact them today to check availability and get placed on their order list. VersaBend is a family-owned business dedicated to providing an easy-to-operate bender made with off-the-shelf components. A unique feature of their bender is that it offers a full radius bend, unlike the double crushed bends produced by most other machines. Want to see it in action? Visit their website at www.csecarport.supply or give them a call at 864-446-3645.
I'm super proud of the fact that Shed Gal, and folks, if you're listening, if you're a dealer, and when you say Canada, I'm going to see a couple of my friends from Canada that are dealers up in Canada. I'm going to see them here real soon. I didn't realize Canada. If you're interested, folks, in either wholesaling where you would buy wholesale where the from 2MamaBees, or if you're interested in an affiliate program with them where it's, you have a link like that's on my website where if the product sells, you get a certain commission. I'd appreciate it if you reached out to me directly at susan@shedgal.com, and I will facilitate that partnership for you. There are a ton of dealers out there. I think the one thing is they think they have to have a display, that of course you're going to have to buy the display, but unlike many companies where you have to buy a ton of displays, you don't have to do that here. We know it's going to be easier for dealers if they have a display, no doubt. I mean, that's the way it is, but there's also nothing wrong with them offering it. You guys have wonderful marketing, wonderful graphics that can be color printed and beautiful brochures. Dealers out there, if you're interested, please reach out to me. I can help you design a way where you can start selling these products. And as you can, then you can buy your own displays. But you don't have to buy inventory to get hooked up with 2MamaBees. This is just another way to help dealers generate income. It is going to attract more people to the lot. In fact, one of our lots has the displays, and I can't believe how many people have driven up and literally stopped right by the play sets. So I know that it's attracting people, and more sales will come from that. Yeah, that's incredible. The Mackay, I can't wait to see that. That's really cool. And London, of course, I've seen the pictures, and by the time this airs, I'll probably have those on my lot.
Yes, you will.
Yeah,
Award winning. There you
I
go.
know.
Toy of the year.
Well,
You can slap a badge on it.
that's the funny part. Of course I watch your posts and we're friends. And so your stuff pops up and I'm like, oh yeah, another award, another award. I mean, it's really incredible. And I know you're doing an amazing job of marketing yourself and marketing your company. And I truly believe 2MamaBees is going to be a household name within the next couple of years. Shed dealers, metal building dealers, reach out to me, Susan@shedgal.com, and let me get you hooked up with Juliana. I too went through the training with you and Samantha. And I was very, very impressed by the amount of information that you gave to me. And of course, neocortex from you, crocodile brain to me, that means nothing to anybody that's listening. But you're the expert, and I'm trying to take it all in. But you were able to explain things to me just like you have on this podcast. And in a nutshell, for those of you listening and watching, this company is doing things differently. They have a luxury product with a great price point with the best people behind them. I mean, who doesn't want to represent a company like that? I mean, you're literally like the dream company to deal with.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And I know for myself, I had reached out to a company, and big company, well-known, very good people, very nice people. But the pushback I received is that they had just put another dealer in a county of 4.65 million people. The other dealer was about 45 minutes from my lot with literally 2 million people in between. And they said to me, well, if that dealer doesn't work out, we'll let you know, and then maybe you could become a dealer. And I thought, it doesn't make any sense in a county that has, almost 1.5 million more people than the entire state of Arkansas, that they would only allow one dealer, because that one dealer, it's just one dealer. So, it did. When I met you, I was like, wow, I don't have to compete against other people. No, you want your product out there and sold. You want dealers representing good dealers, ethical dealers representing your products. And I love that. Like when I met you, I was like, okay, yeah, I was there to tape a TV show, but I was thinking in my head, oh my gosh, if I don't have any other connections from this was the one I was supposed to have.
Yeah, I feel like I'm so in alignment with that too. It was really the irony of it, because I don't think anybody else technically in our space. Well, definitely nobody on our season for sure, but we're all like in these groups now, like with everyone. And I've never seen anybody else that does what we do. And so then imagine here we are on the same season together. It was just,
I know.
yeah.
Or what I do. Or what I do.
Serendipitous.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. I know Juliana and I will have a very long-term relationship, and so impressed by your company. I'm so impressed by the passion behind it. I can't wait to meet Samantha in person eventually. It is just, it's just really, really incredible. And I know that you know, when you were searching out people to sell your product, and then we meet. I will say, everybody, that the show that we're going to be on should be airing the end of the year, early next year. Of course, I'll blast it all over social media, so every single person in the shed and metal in building industry. But it's called The Blocks. B as in boy, LOX. And the crazy part about it is it's not syndicated because there's no drama. It is literally to help business people take their business from whatever they are to a completely different level. And I know, Juliana, for you and me, it's certainly, we have taken it all in and we're using the tools that we learned. It's and just, you know, she alluded to it earlier, there was a little and I went head to head.
We did. But there was no drama. There was literally no drama on the show either. It really, like, if anybody's looking for an environment, and I guess, hey, let's plug the blocks. There we go. You're welcome, Wes. But, you know, if you're looking for an environment where you can team up and meet other like-minded entrepreneurs, I don't think I've ever found a better place. I mean, lifelong friends, for sure, lifelong friends, but not even just us, people that are in totally different spaces, lifelong friends. You know, it was invaluable for us. Like, and for me as you know, the leader of our team, I guess that's my role and my title. It really did help me come back with just a ton of information. I learned so much. I feel like even the graduate school, we learned even more, right? It's just an even deeper dive. So it's been an incredible journey. And I have just met people that I think I needed in my life to help grow and motivate and align myself with. And so, yeah, just if anybody is interested, you should definitely reach out. It is an incredible television show. It is no drama whatsoever. You are all there for the same reason, to learn and grow and expand your business and expand your knowledge. And trust me, you will exponentially.
Yeah. You know, it was really cool. Oh, we're going to be on a TV show. I'm not kidding you. It was a couple hours in. I didn't even think about being on a TV show the rest of the week.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I don't know how much sleep you got, but in 6 nights I had, I don't know, 20, 21 hours of sleep in 6 nights, but I was you know, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And this is about business. I think before we wrap this up, one of the things from the blocks, and of course I'm plugging it, it's really cool. It's going to be fun to watch, the education part of it. But the community that Wes Bergman, and folks, for those of you out there that don't know who Wes Bergman is, he has a long 20-year career of being on MTV, on Real World Austin and The Challenge. So some of you might know him, but he's the owner of Beta Blocks. The man is brilliant. It's weird that he ended up on TV. His family history, his education, he's absolutely brilliant. I think what he's the most brilliant in of all the things is bringing a community together. And when I talk to shed dealers and metal building dealers, I frequently see people that feel so alone, so alone. I have always reached out to and that's why I'm well known. It's not bragging. It's a fact. I've always reached out and engaged, truly from my heart, engaged with other dealers. And if there's dealers listening or manufacturers, and if you're feeling alone, reach out to others in this industry. Most of us are really cool. All of us are really cool in this industry. Who am I kidding, right? But reach out, make your community. And I think Juliana, in fact, right before I jumped on the Zoom, I had a text from Steve Dubell in Phoenix that was also on the box. And so it's truly the connections that are important. Anything you'd like to add before we wrap this up?
That you guys are truly blessed having Susan in your lives. You are such an incredible person, so inspiring, so uplifting, so motivating. I would say her presence when she walks in a room, she just lights it up. And I am so happy that I met you and that you are in our lives. And I'm thankful that you brought us on your podcast. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Juliana. That truly, thank you. It's been a rough week for me. I cannot tell you how much your words mean to me. So thank you very much. And I feel the same exact way about you.
Yes.
We're going to wrap up this week's episode of Magnificent Monday with Susan Frere, the Shed Gal, for the Shed Geek podcast. I thank you all for listening. I thank you all for watching. And Juliana, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been an absolutely fantastic hour. I appreciate you. And let's do another podcast in a year or so and see where you're at.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fun.
Wonderful. Thank you all. We'll see you next Monday on the Shed Geek podcast.
Bye.
Hey, this is Mo Lunsford in sunny Union Grove, North Carolina, and we want to say thank you to all the guests and listeners.